Hi everyone. I'm Helen from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you a Purr-fect family hat. It's divided into two main parts, the main part and decorations. First, make the main part. Once completed, make and attach the decorations. The hat comes in two sizes, adult and child. The making method is the same, just the number of stitches and rounds are slightly different. From now on, I'll use the child size as an example for explanation. Adults can learn the method first, then refer to the chart for crocheting. Let's take a look at the chart. In the table, our plus a number indicates the round number. The increases and decreases explanation column shows the stitch techniques needed when crocheting the current round, including increasing or decreasing. The total stitches column shows all the stitches for the current round, the total number of stitches after completing all crocheting. There are many stitch techniques used. The chart will have corresponding annotations. I won't explain them one by one here. Next, please watch my demonstration of the specific crocheting method. When actually crocheting, you need to use two strands of yarn together. One of the yarns needs to be used as two strands, meaning these two strands combined with one strand of the other yarn. That makes a total of 3 strands of yarn. Combine them into one strand for crocheting. When some yarns only have one skein but need to be used as 2 strands, you can take both the beginning and ending yarn tails from one skein. Here, there's a yarn tail on both the surface and center of the skein. You can pull out both tails and combine them for crocheting. If you can't find them easily, you can wind a small ball separately, then combine the 2 yarn tails. Also, since some yarns here are not easy to remove, it's recommended that everyone learn the method first. After mastering it, then proceed with hands-on practice. You can also use easily removable yarn for practice. Some of the yarn here is variegated. The starting color segments of this type of yarn differ. The crocheted effect will also vary slightly. You can refer to the finished product effect, or choose the starting color segment based on your preference. When selecting the color segment here, first locate the desired color segment. Then cut off the unused colors in front. After that, start crocheting from the desired color segment. For easier viewing, in the following tutorials, I'll demonstrate using one strand of chunky yarn. The one strand I'm using here represents 3 actual strands for specific yarn, color schemes and hook sizes. Please refer to the detail page of our product and paper instructions. Let's begin with a chain stitch. Here, the cast-on is 20ch, which means the cast-on method is a foundation chain. Cast on 20 stitches. First, let's start with a foundation chain. Pick up the yarn tail with your right hand. Wrap it around your left little finger once. Pass it through between the middle finger and index finger. Pinch the yarn tail with your left thumb and middle finger. Hold the crochet hook with your right hand in a pencil grip, and the hook moves between these 2 points. Place the hook underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Pinch the crossing point of the loop with your left thumb and middle finger. Then position the hook to the left of the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Pull the yarn through the loop. Tighten this yarn tail. Pay attention that the loops on the hook shouldn't be too tight. Keep them slightly loose, convenient for crocheting later. The knot at the beginning does not count as a stitch. Begin chain stitch. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. 1 chain stitch is done. Continue yarn over. Pull through. This is the second stitch. Continue crocheting chain stitches downward. 3 stitches, 4 stitches, 5 stitches, After completing, check the stitch count. This braid-like texture represents 1 stitch. The loop on the hook does not count toward the stitch count. Stitch count is correct. The starting chain is now complete. We can see the effect of the original yarn crocheted. Similarly, find the V-shaped braid texture. It feels bumpy to the touch here. The indented position is the braid. The raised position is where 2 braids connect. When unclear, you can check the stitch count this way. This completes the explanation of the starting chain. Begin the first round. The chart starts with count back 4, meaning to begin crocheting from the 4th stitch from the end of the starting chain. Count stitches backward from the hook side, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 4th stitch from the end. The chart shows 3F next. The number before F indicates how many double crochets to make. Here it means to make 3 double crochets. Yarn over once with the hook. Insert into the braid of the 4th chain from the end. Into the top strand. Yarn over. Pull through. There are 3 loops on the hook now. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. 2 loops remain. Yarn over and draw through in once. 1 double crochet is completed. For this stitch technique, the braid on the upper right is its stitch, and 1 stitch represents 1 stitch. When crocheting with the original yarn, find the 4th to last chain space. If it's hard to see, feel for the dent. At the 4th dent from right to left. Pick up the dent position. Insert into the center. Pick up 1 strand above. Then work a double crochet correspondingly. After completing it, on the upper right of the stitch, there will be a V-shaped loop. You can also find the small hole on the upper right of the corresponding stitch. Insert through the small hole. Then pick up the corresponding stitch. Moving forward, I'll continue to demonstrate with chunky yarn. Pick up 1 strand above the chain to the left. Work 1 double crochet. Yarn over. Insert. Yarn over and pull through. Then yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat 2 times. 1 time. 2 times. Complete the double crochet. Continue to pick up 1 strand above the chain. Work 1 double crochet. This way, 3F is completed. For subsequent chains, always pick up 1 strand above the braid. I won't explain in detail later. The next pattern chart is T. When there's no number before the stitch, default to 1 stitch. Then work 1/2 double crochet, yarn over, insert, yarn over and draw through. There are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Complete the half double crochet. The braid in the upper right of the same stitch is its stitch. Next, work a half double crochet increase, which means working 2 half double crochets in one position. Insert into the left side chain. Yarn over, insert, yarn over and draw through. Then yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Complete 1/2 double crochet, work another stitch. This is the second stitch. Now the half double crochet increase is completed. Work 7 single crochets downward. Insert into the adjacent chain stitch. Yarn over and draw through. 2 loops remain on the hook. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Complete the single crochet. Continue to work 6 single crochets correspondingly. Insert. Yarn over and draw through. Yarn over and draw through the 2 loops on hook. Complete the single crochet. Work 5 more stitches. After completion, check the stitch count. Count the stitches directly here. For checking other stitch counts, use the same method. Once confirmed correct, work 1/2 double crochet increase downward. One half double crochet. Two double crochets. Now at the last chain space. Here work DC 3 in 1, meaning 3 double crochets in one position. 1 stitch, 2 stitches, 3 stitches. Complete DC3 in 1. Check the other side of the chain. 2 crossing yarns remain. Continue crocheting on this yarn. And you can see the insertion point here, which is in the same space as the previously completed stitch. Rotate the fabric halfway. Pick the second chain from the left side at this moment. Start from the remaining yarn there. Work even for 2 double crochets. Pay attention to the space at the edge. This is the first chain. Begin crocheting from the adjacent chain on the left side. Complete with 1/2 double crochet. One HDC 2 in 1. Seven single crochets. One HDC 2 in 1. One half double crochet. 3 double crochets. After finishing, let's take a look. Here, besides the placement of stitches on both sides being in the same space, the crocheted stitches are also symmetrical. Now this round of corresponding stitches is completed. Move down to find the first double crochet position on the left side. Locate the chain stitch to the right of its stitch, which is here. Insert the hook into the center of this chain stitch. Then pick up the 2 strands near the edge. Work 1 slip stitch to join. Insert. Yarn over, pull through all the loops on the hook in once. Complete the slip stitch. The slip stitch is not indicated in the form. When crocheting in rounds, you need to finish each round with a slip stitch. After completing this round, the braid at the upper right is the chain formed by the slip stitch. The slip stitch doesn't count as 1 stitch. Tighten the braid to avoid extra stitches later. The first round is completed. We'll consider the side facing you right now. which also has a more even stitch texture, as the right side of the entire fabric. The wrong side has the starting tail, and both ends of the fabric might be slightly uneven, with the right side bulging outward. Later we can use the reserved yarn tail from casting on to distinguish right and wrong sides. So leave the tail unprocessed for now, when the original yarn reaches the other side of the chain stitch in the first round. If you can't see the remaining 2 strands of the chain stitch, you can look for the crocheted side, the stitch position, and insert the hook into the corresponding spot to crochet. If you really can't find the exact position, just pick about 1-2 strands that match. For the ending slip stitch, find the first double crochet stitch. Then pick the chain stitch to the right of it. Insert the hook into the center the same way, and crochet a slip stitch accordingly, if you really can't find the exact position. You can also insert the hook into the large space between the double crochet and the chain. Crochet round 2 downward. The chart starts with 3 ch. Work 3 chains. This is the beginning chain for double crochet, which also counts as 1 double crochet. Then pick the stitch of the adjacent double crochet to the left. DC 2 in 1. Meaning work 2 double crochets in 1 stitch. One DC. Two DC. Complete the double crochet increase, then pick up the stitch to the left, correspondingly work 17 double crochets. After finishing, please check the stitch count. Moving forward to the position where DC 3 in 1 was made in the previous round, pick up the stitch and work a double crochet increase to the left. Work 1 double crochet in the adjacent stitch. Continue downward with double crochet increases. Then correspondingly work 17 double crochets. After completing, there is 1 stitch remaining below. Work a double crochet increase correspondingly. Next comes the turning chain position. Hook into the 3rd chain from the bottom of the beginning chain, which is the chain space on the right side of the double crochet stitch. Pick up the 2 strands near the edge. Join with a slip stitch. Yarn over. Draw through. Pull through all loops on the hook in one go. Complete the slip stitch. Tighten it as well. Pay attention. After each round, join with a slip stitch to the beginning position. Round 2 is completed. For children's size, switch colors for the next round. Then fasten off the yarn. First chain 1 to secure. Leave a little yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Pull tight. Leave the yarn tail for now. When crocheting round 2 with the original yarn, the stitches are picked up at the upper right of the stitch. Pick up the braid to insert the hook. If you can't find the position, you can gently pull apart the stitches to check. There's a connecting strand between the stitches, and a small hole above the strand. Insert the hook into the small hole. Pay attention to the position when crocheting here. Find the correct position before crocheting. Next, crochet round 3. Join the yarn on the beginning chain of the previous round. Locate the insertion point of the slip stitch from before, which is the chain space above the beginning chain. Insert the hook. Then pick up the new color you need. I'm still using one chunky yarn for demonstration. Actually, use the corresponding 3 strands of yarn to join the yarn. Then leave a long tail. Hang the yarn on the left hand. Position it on the crochet hook. Yarn over and pull the yarn through. This completes the joining. Then make 3 beginning chains. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet and correspond to the beginning chain position below. Pick up stitches to the left. Work a double crochet 2 in 1. While crocheting, you can place the short yarn tail above the hook. Crochet and hide it as you go. Continue crocheting according to the chart. The stitch pattern is similar to the previous round, but the number of stitches is different. Remember to hide the yarn tails as you crochet. Complete the last stitch. On the beginning chain, pick up both strands of the top chain stitch, which is the 3rd chain stitch. Insert the hook and work a slip stitch to join. Pull tight after completing. For all subsequent ending slip stitches, insert the hook into the 3rd chain of the beginning chains. I won't explain this in detail later. The 3rd round is complete. Move on to the 4th round. The stitch pattern is identical to the previous round, but the number of stitches is slightly different. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chains. Begin picking up stitches to the left. Follow the stitch pattern in the chart. Join with a slip stitch to the beginning chain after completing. Pull tight. The 4th round is complete. For rounds 5 through 10, continue crocheting according to the stitch pattern in the chart. Remember to refer to the color chart for color changes. The method for changing colors is the same as in the 3rd round. Moving forward, refer to the previous demonstration. Continue crocheting with the chart. Pay attention to check the dimensions against the chart after completing the 6th round. You can also try it on. If the size doesn't fit properly, or differs significantly from the chart, adjust your tension and recrochet. Cut the yarn after finishing. Here I'll show you a method for counting rounds. The fabric will have slightly raised textures, forming circles. Each circle of texture represents one completed round. Count the textures from the gap of the starting chain to one side. The number of these circular textures equals the number of rounds crocheted. You can also see the vertical double crochets on the fabric. Each double crochet represents one round. You can count the number of double crochets. Count downward from the corner position of the edge. This is the method for counting rounds. After completing, crochet the 11th round. This round requires switching yarns for crocheting. Use this yarn with rich futziness. I'll demonstrate using the original yarn here. Random colors. Join yarn on the turning chain of the previous round. The chart starts with 3CHF. The square brackets here indicate the stitch techniques inside. Crochet in the same position. Make 3 beginning chains. Then work 1 double crochet into the joining yarn spot. You can weave in ends while crocheting. The futziness makes it hard to see the loops clearly. You can feel the number of loops on the hook while crocheting. Don't make mistakes. Once completed, the stitch techniques inside the brackets are done. Then work into the next stitch. Work DC3 in 1. After finishing, you can feel the crocheted spot. The stiff part is the stitch post. There will be larger gaps between stitches. This way the DC3 in 1 position is completed. The chart shows FV, FW, X25 later. The parentheses here indicate a pattern repeat. Indicates the number of times to repeat the pattern. Work 1 DC2 in 1 to the left. Pay attention to weave in ends while crocheting. After finishing, feel to check the stitch count. Once completed, work DC3 in 1 to the left. At this point, FV, FW, is completed. I'll demonstrate again. First work 1 DC 2 in 1. Then work DC 3 in 1. This is the second time. Continue with this method afterward. Complete the remaining repetitions. After finishing the last stitch, downward in the space between the beginning chain and the first double crochet, insert hook into large space to join with a slip stitch. No need to tighten. Round 11 is completed. Finally cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail to the wrong side of the fabric. Just weave in a few segments of the yarn. You can weave in a few more stitches. The starting tail should also be woven into the fabric. You can weave in a few more stitches. That completes the crocheting of the main part. Next, make and attach the decorations, including buttons, bie, leather label and tassel. Make and attach them in order. First, make the buttons. Here we use pre-made buttons. Simply sew them to the corresponding position, located at the top left of the fabric. The placement and quantity of the buttons can refer to the finished product effect, or adjust as you like. Next, I'll demonstrate the method. Here I'll use this swatch for demonstration. Fold the fabric in half along the cast-on edge. Then on one side, find the top left position. First sew on the 4-hole button. My placement here is arbitrary. Refer to the chart and take the corresponding yarn. Take a long tail. Thread the needle. Then sew crosswise through the 4 holes. Pull out the needle from the inner side. Leave a little yarn tail on the inner side. Match and sew together. Sew again for secure. After completed, sew the remaining buttons at corresponding positions. My placement and number of buttons here are arbitrary, mainly demonstrate the method. When you encounter small buttonholes during actual sewing, use a thin needle to sew. Finally, bring the yarn tail to the beginning yarn tail position. Tie a knot for the beginning and ending yarn tails. Hide the remaining yarn tails inside the fabric. Complete it yourself. That's how the button decoration is explained. Next, make a bow. Pick up the leather cord. If making a parent-child style, cut the leather cord in half into 2 sections. Use one section to make one bow. Then refer to the finished product effect. Pick 1-2 secure stitches at the corresponding position. Insert the hook. Pull the leather cord through. Adjust the length on both sides. Then tie a bow. The size of the bow can be adjusted according to preference. Then cut off the remaining part. Similarly, trim the ending length as preferred. That's how the bow is made. Sew the leather label downward. Place it at the corresponding position referring to the finished product effect. Note that it should be placed horizontally, with the pattern side facing outward. Place the pattern facing forward. Then use the button sewing thread. Take a long yarn tail and thread the needle. First, sew through one side of the leather label buttonhole. Remember to leave a little yarn tail at the beginning. To secure it firmly, sew twice each time. One side is finished sewing. Bring the thread to the other side to continue sewing. After completing, bring the thread back to the starting yarn tail position. Then tie a knot and hide it inside. Everyone complete this part on your own. That concludes the explanation for attaching the leather label. Finally, make the tassels. There are 2 sides with tassels. 5 tassels need to be made on one side, located at both ends of the main part on the back side, slightly inward from the edge. Make it on the second to last round of the main part. You can refer to the finished product effect for the same position, or adjust it as you like. Pay attention when taking the yarn here. The variegated yarn has different color segments. Take 1 color segment per tassel for making. The 5 tassels on one side should have non-repeating color segments. The color segments between the 2 sides can be identical. Next, I'll demonstrate the making method. First, refer to the chart to take the line segment needed for 1 tassel. There are a total of 9 strands like this. Take 3 strands of each of the 3 yarn types. Then combine the segments. Then secure them at the corresponding position on the main part. Pick the roughly corresponding position on the main part. Use a more securely fixed yarn. Pull the yarn through. Leave a tail here. Next, take the lower yarn strands. Merge them by matching the same yarn type and color. Divide them into 3 strands like this. Then braid them into a cable. The reserved yarn at the top here should be braided in from the beginning. Continue braiding down to the length marked on the chart. The length can also be adjusted according to preference. Once braided to the desired length, tie a knot at the ending. Trim the remaining yarn flat. The length can be adjusted as needed. This completes 1 tassel. Make the remaining tassels using the same method. Complete them on your own. At this point, all decoration parts have been explained. Up to this point, the entire hat making process is fully covered. If you have any unclear parts during the crocheting process, don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get supports. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.